each and every one of you here to Unity of Winston-Salem. And also, I want to welcome each and every one that is listening to us today. But actually, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your life and coming into your energy field and into your presence, because it's such a wonderful thing to be with you and to feel your presence. But when I'm feeling this presence, I'm recognizing what I'm feeling today. I felt that when I walked in this place. I could feel the presence of the Lord right here, right now. I felt joy coming here. I felt excitement. And now I'm feeling it from you also, that we're beginning to move out of this place of being so bound to all the things of the world. And we're coming into this place of recognizing peace is only a breath away, only a thought away. And I hear a buzz if you can take care of that. And thank you so much, but just continue to feel that peace as we move into a place of communing with the divine. And I would like to share with you the daily word today, or a daily word. If you would like to just close your eyes for a moment. May these words be your very own words. I surrender to the divine life within, and I am healed. I surrender to the divine life within, and I am healed. If I'm in the midst of a health challenge, I remember to remain focused on the healing love of God. I accept the conditions of illness as temporary and affirm that God is present as divine healing life, no matter the outward appearance. For divine healing life is part of my inheritance as a spiritual being, like a tree with roots that reach deep into nourishing soul. I take my situation from this healing love, and I am then refreshed as that love moves through me. For every cell in my body is healthy and restored. For I am continually filled with renewing life and strength as I pray. In the great fullness of life, I am attuned to the healing stream of God. I let go. I surrender to the flow of divine life, and I am healed. Colossians 2:9-10. For in him the whole fullness of deity dwells bodily, and you have come to the fullness in him, who is the head of every ruler and every authority. Our loving Creator, we come to you to give thanks, knowing that God is in control of all situations, that we can let go and we can trust that everything is in your hands. For so long, we as human beings wanted all the power in our hands. And now in this time, we recognize I have no power except in you. Lead us, Lord. Teach us, Lord. Open those doorways to the great truth, the great light that will set us free. Right now, begin to magnify your light and your love within us. But as I say those words, I recognize that God will never do anything for us. He will do it through us. We need to be participants with the light of truth, the light of love, the ultimate divine consciousness of all things. Right now, if you will, I often ask you to go into that sacred space. I've asked you to begin to be still and to know But for this moment, I would like for you to focus on around your solar plexus or your tummy area. Just kind of think of that. That is an energy field that is one of your bodies. We have many bodies. The human form does. But that's where your emotions are held. That is where so many are working from the body of emotions right here and right now, on planet Earth. Just wanting you to remind you to remember. So when you feel the feelings of joy and peace and excitement, you're in that feeling body that is yours. When you're in that ocean of motion, of confusion and doubt, and the storm is raging, the anger, the bitterness, the resentments, that's the emotional body. So let us begin to come to that heart space. Recognize that place of balance and love. And begin to view that emotional body. And as you do, allow it to be still. You may see it as a pond or a stream or a lake. It's a part of the watery ebb and flow of life. See the sun as it rises above that. The water, the pond, the lake. See it being so calm that you can see the Christ walking across it. And you can see that reflection. The water is so still, even as he moves in the midst of the water. See the reflections of the trees in that water. The reflection of the birds as they pass over. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and feel the peace of God. Be still and know you are never alone, for I am with you always. Be still. Just take a deep breath, even behind your mask. You're breathing the breath of God, and we give thanks for the peace that goes beyond all understanding. And so it is. Amen. Can you feel right here and now a peace that you didn't have when you first came this way this morning? We forget sometimes that God has given us the ability to calm those troubled waters within us. You have the power within you to reach into the depths of who you are and recognize that nothing is hidden from you. the light of truth. And I'm speaking of truth with a capital T. Not my truth, your truth, somebody else's truth. But if there is a literal truth that Jesus said would set us free, that truth is the truth of divinity. That truth is the truth of who you are. That truth is a truth that is so difficult for the human mind to comprehend it, that very few come to that place in a lifetime. Tap on my shoulder. It takes many lifetimes to arrive to that place. Many lifetimes. When we have our own truth, it's hard to accept the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth can only come to you and awaken in you as the spirit of truth, the spirit of life, begins to move within your beingness. I've read lots of books, and you have too. We've gone to lots of workshops. We've listened to lots of TV and video programs. And so many times we think, aha, I've got it. I understand. I understand. And I'm one of those people too, that I thought I understood. But as more and more truth begins to come before us, and people begin to discover within their self and share it with us, sometimes it's like, I'm not sure I want to go there, because I haven't processed it. It hasn't come to my heart. I haven't accepted it yet, and I'm afraid of what you're saying. You recognize that as you were coming out from among them to be separate. Coming out from among what? Coming out from among the old doctrines, the old traditions, the old ways of being, the old things that grandmother and grandfather taught, but somehow it didn't feel like it suited, or it didn't really fit for you. There has to be more to life than meets the eye. And so you begin to search, and you're drawn here and there, and it begins to awaken. That feels right. That feels right. I've been taught as a child how mean and angry and awful God is. Even I've heard people say people are getting sick because you deserve it. You did some sin. You did something wrong. God's doing it to you. Pardon me, the hogwash. When these things come to us, it's a learning process. God didn't do it to us, but I'm calling it to me for some reason. Maybe I need to know that I can overcome something I didn't think I could overcome. Who knows what it is? I know I got arrogant a few years ago. Sickness just didn't seem to be in my book. I prayed for it with people that had illnesses. I'd be around anybody, anywhere that was sick. But in my mind, I wouldn't get sick. I may have a little cold now and then. But that was, usually allergies for some reason. I'd accept those things for myself. But then all of a sudden, I had all kinds of things happening to my physical body. And I thought, what in the world is this about? To me, it was my arrogance. I knew I could have died. I had pneumonia. I had all kinds of things happening to my body. But somehow, I would rise above it, be able to come in most of the time, I think all of the time possibly, I don't even remember telling you several years ago, on Sunday morning, I feel fine. Sunday morning, I feel fine. No fever, no anything. Then I start to live here and something else would happen. It went on for about 5 or 6 weeks, different things. But I believe this planet is a place, and I've mentioned it before, for pathways to mastership, folks. A pathway to mastership. Mastering our own thoughts, feelings, actions, and deeds. It's not a place where I come to judge somebody else. But that's what we've done the whole time, haven't we? Up until this generation, it feels like to me, Jesus is the one that came in. He was a master of masters. He was a great metaphysician. He was a great metaphysico. What was the word somebody gave me? I heard it this morning.
Quantum physician.
Great quantum physician. I know that was something I've been reaching for and didn't have the word for it. A quantum physician. When somebody mentioned that to me this morning, it was like a ding. I didn't know I was going to say anything about it. But I've always known that Jesus knew beyond anything that humankind knew when he came into this planet, and he knew more than we know, even now. And so the quantum mechanics has to do with consciousness, I hear. And that consciousness is how Jesus knew all things were being moved in this divine energy field of quantum physics, if you want to call it that, is the matrix. It's the energy that science has now begun to recognize that connects all life. All life. We're just now discovering, or science is discovering. There may be some that truth is not wanting to come into our consciousness right now, but as time moves on, within the next 10 years, I think most everybody, people on this planet, will begin to recognize the power that is within you. Because it's that power that Jesus came to show us. He said, look, all that I have and all that I know, you do too. And what I have, you have. And I'm going away so you can stop worshiping a form of somebody or something. When you stop worshiping that form and you start seeking the truth and start seeking God. And right now, people, we still have this God in this cloud, or on the cloud, out there on some dimension, this man in a long robe and a long beard. You can have that if you want. I don't want to take your God away from you. But as you begin to move into the heart space, and you begin to listen to the teachings that Jesus came to bring us, he was saying that he was one with the Father. He was one with all there is. He was one with the source of creation. And he said, you are too. But our heads have not been able to accept that. Because if we could accept the teachings that he brought into this planet, if we could accept it right now, we could call forth whatever, and it will be done. That used to scare me when I began to wake up to recognize some of these things. Because, you know, it's a memory of times past. And I'm not talking about since these years that I've lived this lifetime. And you can take what I'm saying and put it on the shelf or throw it in the trash can. It's okay with me. But I feel like I have to say what I have to say right now. And it's for us to wake up and recognize the power that resides in the human temple of God. And you are it, folks. You are the beautiful temple of God. That temple made not with hands, but this energy field, this great energy field that God clothed us in. And we have forgotten who we are. And now we're stepping into a space of remembering. The title of the lesson today was The Light of Truth. And where that came from was it was this week. I guess I'm working symbology for a while. That's the way the spirits or divine speaks to me. And I'm half awake, half asleep, waking up early in the morning. And I think that what it's saying is we're beginning to wake up. And in my mind's eye, I saw these huge doors. And they were starting to open and welcome me into this beautiful place. I just knew it was beautiful inside. I could feel the light and the frequencies coming from that building or that place. But just as we have that archway up over our door that says we honor the divinity and awe. There was a big archway there that said, truth is welcome here. Truth is welcome here. During the week, I would think truth is welcome here. What does that mean? What is those two doors, those big doors I was seeing that was opening up? And early this morning, it sort of floated through my mind without even thinking. That we came forth from the light of truth. We came forth from the heart of God. And humanity, so many are on this planet right now, beings of light. We are all beings of light. I get that every tap again. Every single one of us is that same droplet of God in us. But there are many, many, many here on this planet that are remembering from whence they came. And we're stepping back into that dimension that we can be awakened to the truth that will set us free. And then when that happens to you, or to me, or to whoever, you'll begin to step out in love and compassion. No judgment of yourself or anyone else. That judgment is what's chaining us down, folks. That's the heavy burdens that we're carrying. Is pointing the finger at ourselves or someone else. Can we not comprehend that we're here to work on our own stuff? To recognize those things that are blocking us from that divine love and that divine wisdom and that peace. We have been since the beginning of the beginning, if there's ever been a beginning. We are made in the likeness of that source itself. But we fell asleep as we took on these flesh bodies. But our spirit, our life is continuously flowing, ever back to source. But so often we don't feel connected. Why don't we feel connected? Because my wounds, my anger, my upsets have blocked that way of totally connecting to source. Years ago, I recognized that everything out in the outer world has been created through humankind. That Edison and some other people, they recognized that there was a power greater than them that was giving them this information. But what blocks the truth from coming through us is we have all these blocks of energy. And I began to be aware this week of the deep hurts people carry. And we've forgotten some of them. And so I was asked this week, what is the greatest hurt you have ever had in this lifetime, Elizabeth? Immediately my head went somewhere. And I thought, well, I need to sit down and be still and meditate on it. But before I could get still, something came from my heart. It was something that happened years and years ago. I was so upset with this one individual. I want to tell you how upset I was. I wanted to strangle him. I wanted to wipe him out. I wanted to have nothing to do with this person ever again in my life. That's where I was. I had never slapped a person or tried to hurt a person in any way. Physically. Maybe I sent darts to people mentally. We all get upset. But that wasn't there. And when I saw that, I thought, what is this about? And I felt the energy rising up. And it was like, look at this. Now look at that person. I mean, my relationship is still with that person, and it's totally different. Now, I thought all was gone, but it said, look at how you felt back then. Look at what you feel. You may want to use this as an exercise that relates to you. And when I did, it was like what's happening right here, right now, in this time, is we're all getting the great opportunity to go to our deepest wound. The light is pouring in, bringing up any darkness. The darkness will come to light. What for? So we can look at it and release it. When I felt that, I wanted to go to that person and say, thank you. Thank you for our interaction at that time. Because I didn't know I had that darkness in me like that. Can you hear what I'm saying? The pains we're going through are those blocks that have been blocking us all this time until we can remove all those deep-seated angers, resentments, hates, judgments of others. Because my story was that person did this to me and it was so unfair. So unfair. But in reality, that soul was with me to let me see sometime the darkness I could not see. The darkness I could not see. Looks like I have to say it one more time. The darkness I could not see. I don't want to run from the darkness in me. Because until I see it, it cannot heal. Reveal what needs to be revealed and heal what needs to be healed. Why? So my life can be transformed. I'm thinking of Jesus standing out there and talking to the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the religious people of the day. And he began to talk and say, you know, there are cups and saucers that are beautiful on the outside, clean on the outside, oh, gorgeous to look at. But inside, they're dirty. Inside, they need to be washed and cleaned. What was he referring to? He was referring to our consciousness. He was referring to our thoughts, our feelings, our hidden things that we put on that beautiful smile when we walk into a place and they would turn around and look at somebody and we judge them. That's the dirt that's in us. That's the soul that maybe nobody else knows about, but guess what? God knows. The divine in you. There's a divine essence in you, no matter who you are or what you are. And it's giving you the opportunity to see what's in there. For most of us, we don't even know it. We don't even know it. It's just, well, that's the way I feel about it. That's the way I feel about it. But now we're beginning to have an opportunity in this time. You didn't come here by mistake. You didn't tune into this by mistake. We aren't on this planet by mistake. It's by divine appointment. It's by divine order that you're winding up where you are right now to go deep inside. Because we are beings of love and light and peace at our core of who we are. It's like take a droplet of water out of the ocean. That little droplet has every chemical the ocean has. Isn't that droplet? We are droplets of God. We are waves of God, like the wave coming in from the ocean. That's our life coming forth on the planet at this time. Then it goes back into the source. Then it comes back in again and shows itself, and then it goes back. This is where we are on that evolutionary scale of consciousness right now. Am I expressing the fullness of God? The wholeness of God? No, I know I'm not. But I am willing to be willing to look at the things that I need to look at, to experience the things that I need to be experiencing, that I may grow in wisdom and truth. I'm offering you that opportunity too. I'm feeling like an old Baptist preacher saying you want to come to the altar. It's not about that. It's about, are you ready to go to your heart? Are you ready to go to the Christ of your very being? Are you ready to do the work that needs to be done in body, soul, and mind? To come to this place, and the greatest place I can think of right now is a place of peace. A place of peace. It hurts me to feel the pain that people feel, to see what's going on. To not have fear doesn't mean that you're not aware of what's going on. It doesn't, I'm not saying don't wear a mask and don't wash your hands and go kiss everybody on the street and tell them that you love them. But I'm saying to be in the midst of stuff, use common sense. But to be so afraid, and I felt this with people. They can sit in their own home and be afraid that they're going to breathe in the germ. It hurts. That must, I send love and peace to them. I send love and peace to everyone all over the world. It's like it's helped bring up more compassion than I've ever known in my life for others. It's not me doing it. It's God doing it through us. I don't know when it's time to learn a lesson. When it's time to learn the lesson, 9 out of 10, I fall against it. I don't want to accept it. I want to say somebody else is doing something to me. I never thought that God was bringing that opportunity to me. All things are opportunities for growth. I want to step into it. Will you step into it with me? We need a place to come together. And when you're hurting or upset or angry, be able to share that with someone. Maybe even the person that you're angry or upset or resentful to. And my prayer is that our consciousness will be awakened at such a level, we'll sit and we'll listen. And the Christ within us will do the work for both of us, for all of us. Can you hear what I'm saying? But you will know when those moments come that this can happen. You will know. Because you can begin to step into that place of accepting being led. Be willing to listen to your heart. Jesus said, it's not I doing the work, not the personal I, but it's the Father within me that does the work. It's time for us to trust that divine essence within our own being. And be patient. I recognize I have had that issue with being patient. I know the kingdom has come. I know the will is being done in these earthen vessels, but I want it right now. And I'm realizing the ages that we're in, it takes, 2,500 years or more, or what? Somebody know these astrological ages of Piscean age, the Taurian age, and all that. If you go back to the Bible, get back. How many? 26,000 years for the ages to pass. It was in the, I believe, the Taurus age or something, back when they were giving, the bull was a big symbol. And in Egypt, they were worshiping the bull. And when the children of Israel came out of
Egypt. They remember they created this golden cow they were worshiping. That was the age. There's an energy it's animalistic. That's the things, we want the things of the flesh, desires of the flesh. It's still bleeding over into the Piscean age. When Jesus came on the scene, I don't know why I'm saying this, but anyway, when Jesus came on the scene, there was the Piscean age. It was the age of, it's all about me. It's all about me. So he came to bring forth a new age to come. I'm thinking right now he was way ahead. I mean, he was. He knew it all. But that was the beginning of the Piscean age that is coming to an end right now, folks. This is what you're seeing. The fall of Babylon. The fall of me. I want your job. I want that position. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want everything. Why? Because I want it. I want it. I want it. I've got a flash. I got some feelings here of something to say, but my personality said go, don't go there. But I'm going to get there, okay? You know how hard it is if you're in a relationship with somebody and that somebody leaves you for somebody else? You know how hard it is to go through divorce, especially if it's another party involved. And that wasn't my issue, but this is what's coming up. But you can despise that person, the other person that's taking your husband, your wife, your lover, whatever it is, away from you, you feel like they are. You're so bitter about that. I'm pushing it away so much, it's like, no, where am I going with this, Lord? But what is happening is if you happen to be the other party playing in that, and you're the one that got involved with someone that already was committed in a relationship, and you pull that other person away from them, then you get spiritual. And something in your head says, I want to fix this. I'm going to go back to that other person, and I'm going to tell them, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I took your husband from you. Or I'm sorry I took your wife from you. I'm sorry. And that makes it all better, huh? I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. Because that person sees that they have been hurt so bad, they could never heal from that wound. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? The bitterness will go on. But if I was that person involved in that, I didn't steal Tony, I'll tell you that. But if I was the person that took my husband, you away from somebody else, that was it. I could go to his ex, and she may want to punch me in the nose if this was true, but I could say, look, I need to talk with you. And I'm beginning to understand some things. That it's not about that I got involved with your husband. What it's about is I knew it would hurt you. I knew it would hurt your family. I knew consciously at some level, with me getting involved with somebody that's already committed, at some level I know there's going to be pain that I'm going to bring to you, your family, and if I have a family, I'm bringing it on my family too. But you know what? In recognizing that I knew what was going to happen, I was so daggone selfish and self-centered that I wanted what I wanted, and I didn't care what anybody else felt or how they were hurt. I'm that selfish. Now, if you've been in that boat of doing that, I'm not condemning you. I'm really not. Because evidently you need to go through that and others needed to go through that for the experience. But now, as we wake up, we've got to recognize that we've got to become consciously aware, or it's time for us to be consciously aware of every action we're taking. Every action we're taking. Because it's putting a block on our own spiritual growth. If we do things and realize at some level it was intentional and it was all about me, all about what I want. Can you hear what I'm saying? Can you feel what I'm saying? At that point, healing can begin. Just bless it. Just bless it. When both of you start recognizing you are here on this planet to grow spiritually together, we're dancing our dances together. No matter what they look like, we're dancing to grow. To get out of the darkness, that more light will come forth from within us, more wisdom, more healing. There was a woman that was caught in adultery, and I guess some people out there do this. Was caught in adultery. And Jesus came up and said, "What's this all about?" Everybody was there picking up their stones. Well, she was caught in the act of being this man. And the law says she needs to be stoned. We condemn her to this. This is the law of our land. This is what we're going to do to her. Jesus didn't say anything, but he stood there. He stood there knowing that in this day of Piscean age, that this is the way things are done. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Do unto others as they've done unto you. Justice, revenge, hate, anger. For ages, tribes warring against each other, countries warring against each other. We've been doing that right now too, folks. Have you noticed it's time to come to an end? We finally have seen just a little glimmer, of what will eventually come, where we can sit down, leaders can sit down, people can sit down and begin to negotiate, coming to a place of peace. And we're still on the lower vibration, but this is going to rise, folks, in the age that we're in now, the Aquarian age. So we're beginning today to take those first steps into this Aquarian age. To me, it hasn't been going fast enough. But I recognize we're eternal beings, and we're here to be some of the forerunners that will help usher in this new age, or this age, this golden age that will eventually come about, where this earth will be restored. We're far from it right now, folks. But can you get a glimpse? Imagine, as the Beatles sing, imagine that everyone is in peace and harmony. Can you imagine that there's no wars? Can you imagine it? And the song goes on, you may think I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Someday, you'll join us, and the world will be as one. That's where Jesus was. That's where he was. He knelt down and he wrote something in the sand. While he was writing in the sand, maybe it was a sense of time. Maybe he took them into another dimension where they could see all the things that they had done, all the places they had been. And it was a time of forgiveness. For when he looked up, there alone stood the woman. And he said, "Where are your accusers? Where
Where are your accusers? I believe they recognize that whatever she did, some time, some space, they created that same selfish act. And they remember. She said, no one is here to condemn me. And Jesus said, neither do I condemn you. Go. Don't miss the mark anymore. That's what sin is. Stay on track. Have you learned your lesson, like what acts you committed? Are they things sometimes you look at and wish you never did? That it never happened? Well, if that's it, you don't have to do it again. You just don't have to do it again. Some people feel they're so addicted they have to continue. The addiction has them. Guess what? You can let the light of God have you now. You can allow that power that is within you, that's greater than anything that's calling to you in the world, is right in you, ready to merge with who you are, that your light can begin to shine. And whatever you're stuck in, as you begin to come out, guess what? You begin to be the way shower. What I told you on that. You begin to be the way shower. Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. No one comes to the Father but by me. Okay, let's break it down just a little bit here. The Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. And that's the only way through the teachings of the Christ within, the divinity within you, the true self within you, can you come to that knowledge. No man can teach you these things. No woman can teach you these things. It has to come from within. But the I am in you, once you overcome, I haven't heard this before, so I'm trying to listen and speak to it, but I'm getting in the way. The I am in us steps into a higher truth, becomes empowered, overcomes. Isn't that what we're here to overcome all the things of the lower consciousness or the five senses? Not that they are done away with. They're still there to be operated in and used for a higher frequency, a higher mission. But bringing it up from that lower place, if I had been an addict of some kind, once I step out of that and recognize the power to overcome, in that place, I become a way shower. Can you hear? I'm listening. We become a way shower because we know we did it. And I'm in that place that I will, by the help of the Christ within, the Father within, I will continue to stay on that path. And when we just have that power within us to leave the old things behind, things become new. And we begin to be helpers for others that are in that same place. Can you hear, can you feel what's being said? I'm hearing it and feeling it in a new way. Then we may well think we need to get out and preach the gospel and blah, 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 blah. Maybe, maybe not, but that's not what it's all about. It's for you to learn your lesson and then assist others to come into that place to be an overcomer. I feel like something is just the doors are beginning to open for us right now. I'm feeling a new energy pouring into this place. I'm feeling your consciousness as it expands. I'm feeling your love as it expands. I'm feeling your truth that has been hidden from you since the foundations of the world coming to light. For God is with you, and all is well. Fear not. Fear not. Our loving Creator, may your Holy Spirit continue to move this day for those that receive your truth from you, dear God. May they be hearing a higher vibration, a higher love than a personality could ever put out right now. That transformation will begin within. That there will be no doubt that they are overcomers through the Christ that is within them, through that light that is within them, through that truth that is within them. For the doors of light are open to them right now, as we are willing to be willing and saying, yes, Lord, here I am. Here I am, Lord. Use me for the highest and best. I say thank you. Amen. 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 For me, this has been a beautiful time to be with you. I'm feeling more joy than I've ever felt in a long, long time. The peace is greater because people are coming together in small groups or connecting through energy work all over the planet. Something about this day, something about this time. You may step out and see darkness, but know that you have the ability to rise to a higher place. Go within that place where the emotional body is totally still and listen to the divine in you. Listen. And when you come up against something that you truly want to judge another, know that we're actors on stage, as Shakespeare said. We're all playing our part right now. Could be a part of the villain, could be a part of the master, could be a part of whatever. But know that we're in these roles for our spiritual growth and for the growth of others. Thank you so much. If you would like to continue to see during this time of all the energy going on and so many people not being able to be in the church, so many churches have closed, so many restaurants have closed. And when this stuff passes over, the places that you love may not even be there because of financial difficulty. If it's in your heart and you would like to support organizations, different places, different people, make sure that when this passes over, that we can enter back into those places. I'm sure your donations and your love offerings will be accepted. And here at Unity Church of Winston-Salem, when this time passes and the whole place is full and running over, I believe the doors will still be open. Say, come. Our doors are open to you. Our doors are open to those that are sick and afflicted. Our doors are open to those that are addicted to drugs, to alcohol, whatever it might be. We're open to you because we honor the divinity in you. We honor the divinity in each other. And we know so many, we've all walked those same roads. And we're coming into that place where the Christ will transform us into that temple of love, light, and peace. We're here to help each other. And so it is. So if you'd like to give a love offering, go to your heart. Whatever you do, just always go to your heart. If you choose to donate a love offering to Unity Church of Winston-Salem, you may do so by just sending it to Unity Church of Winston-Salem, 108 Hughes Street, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 27103. I think I got that right. Also, there's PayPal you can go to. I just want to say thank you very much. And the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are one. Namaste. I hope that it is. Would you like to close with a song? Or